I hope you're ready to have a lot of fun. So let's start seated in the center of the mat. We're just going to get that core activation. We're going to get that feel. Then we're going to get into it. So I want everyone just to lengthen their spines. I want you to draw your scaps down your back. I want you to place your hands on your abdominals, and we're going to activate that core. We're activating by sucking in that belly to spine, and we're going to do 3 deep breaths. We're going to inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. We're going to do 1 more deep breath in and exhale. I want you to extend your left leg out to the side, lengthening that spine. We're slowly going to reach our right arm over towards our left leg, pointing that toe as we reach. And inhale back to center. We're going to do 5 of these, just getting in that mobility and reaching over and back. And we've got 3 more, reaching. And as we're reaching, I want you to push that right glute into the floor. Allow that stretch down that trunk. And we've got 2 more after this one. Let's allow that body to stretch out, go as far as your body feels comfortable. We're not pushing past discomfort. We're just allowing a comfortable stretch into that body and back to center. Let's change over. We're going to extend that right leg, tucking that left foot into our right groin. We're going to inhale and exhale, extend. And slowly back. As you're doing it, so pointing that toe, allowing that body to stretch in those tight areas. Inhale, center. And reach. We've got 2 more after this one. And last one, reaching over and slowly back to center. We're going to stand up. Let's walk over to the end of our mat. I'm going to turn to the side just so that you can see me correctly. I want you to suck in that belly. Please make sure whenever we're activating, tucking that belly to spine, drawing the scaps down that back. We're inhaling, exhaling, tucking chin, head and neck all the way down into a spine stretch. I want you to feel that spine stretch. I want you to allow that body to fall. Bend those knees if you have to. You're just letting that body stretch out. We're going to inhale, exhale, tucking in from your pelvic floor, sucking in from your abdominals, and articulating through that spine into a standing position. We're going to do 2 more of these. I want you to really just work out where your tight muscles are so we can focus on those during our class. All the way down, reaching, 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 and inhale. And on that exhale, slowly roll yourself back up, 1 vertebra at a time. Stacking that vertebra, opening that chest. And last one, we're going to stay down there, deep breath in. And exhale down, all the way. Down, 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 and we're going to hold. Allow that body to stretch. We're going to hold our elbows with our opposite hands. We're slowly going to lean towards the left-hand side, allowing that right side of your body to open. And inhale back to center. And exhale towards the left. Inhale back to center. 1 more on each side. And reaching towards the left, back to center, and to the right, back to center. We're going to come to the center of our mat. We're going to start with that right foot on the mat. That left one, we're going to lift off the floor, and we're slowly going to, before we do anything, making sure that our hips are aligned. I want you to get that core activation. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we're going to lean forward, extending our left leg, extending our arms, and we're going to hold. We're going to inhale, try and keep that balance. I want you to engage that left glute max. I want you to work really hard on stabilizing. And as you're doing it, you're opening your chest and holding for another 5, 4, 3, reaching, 2, and slowly inhale. Exhale, coming up into a high knee T position, and we're holding. Inhale and exhale. I want you to feel the activation into your calf, into your glutes, into your core. Draw those shoulders down away from those ears. We're going to do one more. Inhale, exhale, reaching forward, slight bend in that stabilizing knee, and extending parallel limbs towards the floor. From here, if you can hold your balance, we're slowly going to lower down and pulse back up for 5 counts. That's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and slowly coming back up into T position and high knee and holding. You should be feeling beautiful activation into those ankles and calves. Keep holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let's change over legs. We're going to lift that right leg off the floor, stabilizing on that left leg. I want you to try and create a cup with the arches of your feet. You're stabilizing and aligning those body. You're going to inhale, and on that exhale, extend and reach arms forward, palms facing each other, and reaching. Keep holding. Inhale and exhale, stabilizing that knee. Keep going. And 5, 4, 3, reach as far as you can. 2, 1, and slowly up into high knee and T-point. Inhale. Keep feeling that activation. Embrace it. We're working on our stability. Work really hard. And taking a deep breath before we exhale to extend into that standing Superman hold. And reaching, ready for our 5 pulsations. And 1, and 2, keep going. And 3, getting that right glute max activation. 4, and 5, and slowly coming up into that high knee and T positioning hold. Keep holding. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and walking yourselves back to that end of that mat. You should be feeling a deep activation into those glutes and into your core. I'm going to be honest, I'm already feeling like I've got a sweat going. Let's tuck that chin in, rolling head, neck, and chest all the way down towards the floor. We're walking our hands towards the center of that mat. We're going to walk out our calves and just loosen up those ankles after we've used them. We should be quite tight in that region after doing that work. And pushing both heels into the ground, rotating that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Pushing your hands onto the floor and head through your arms. And we're just going to hold. Allow that stretch. You should feel it burning down the back of your knees. Rotate that tailbone up. And slowly bending right knee, pushing left heel into the ground. Inhale. And on that exhale, rotate. And pushing both heels back into the ground. We're slowly going to walk our hands to the end of the mat and opening, putting our pelvis onto the floor, allowing those front abdominals to stretch out. And leaning back into rest position before we get into all fours. I hope you're all doing okay. Let's get into that all fours position. I want you to get that neutral pelvic positioning. I want those shoulders drawn down that back. Imagine like your scaps, your shoulder blades are being pulled into your opposite back pockets, keeping that posture in a beautiful form. We're going to tuck those toes in under our feet. We're going to inhale. And on that exhale, we're going to hover our knees off the floor. And I want you to really focus on sucking in and feeling that activation to the lower abdominals. And we're going to hold. And while we're holding, we're breathing deep. Inhale and exhale. I want you to feel that air going through your lungs, giving the oxygen that it needs to activate that core. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lifting those feet back up, straightening those knees, rotating that tailbone for one more stretch into those hamstrings, and slowly back down, hovering those knees again, activating that core. Let's keep pushing. Inhale and exhale. Keep going. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly leaning back into rest position, pushing those shoulders into the ground and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're lifting back up. We're going to do these movements very slowly. I want you to really focus on maintaining that beautiful muscular activation. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, extend right leg off the floor, and then the left leg. Let's get into that front support position. We're going to hold, sucking in that belly to spine, making sure you've got that glute activation, and keep holding. We're going to hold for 10 seconds, and in this 10 seconds, I want you to just make sure that you've got that posture, heels are above those toes, and you are pulling your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, tucking right knee in, and exhale out. Inhale, exhale, left knee in, inhale out. Keep going, and we're going to do 4 of these. That's 3. Keep going. 4 on each leg. And 1 more on each leg after this one. Last little push. Let's push through. Keep going. And dropping those knees down. And leaning into rest position. We're going to turn over into a seated position. Hope you're all managing. You should be feeling some activation into those shoulders, into that core. Let's extend our feet and legs out in front of us. I want those ankles to be in line with those hips. We're going to extend our hands in front of us, palms facing each other. Remember to lengthen that spine, keeping that core activated. We're slowly going to roll ourselves down towards the mat. And when we get to the end, I want you to slowly extend that spine and straighten that back, bringing arms towards ears. And from here, I want you to really work hard to squeeze your scaps together, and we're going to hold. Keep holding. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8. Squeezing. This is a back extension exercise. You're going to work really hard on getting that back extension. I want you to feel that activation into your scap muscles and all the way down that back. And keep going. Let's inhale, exhale, release and extend. We're going to do 2 more 10 seconds. And inhale, exhale, extend, stacking that vertebrae, bringing those scaps down that back and holding. Keep holding. And 5, you should be feeling a beautiful activation, flexing those ankles, toes to ceiling. And release. And extending forward. And slowly coming back up. On the last set of 10 seconds, We are going to pulse our arms backwards. So working and emphasizing on squeezing those gaps together. Inhale, exhale, pulse. And that's 1. We're doing 8 and 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And slowly releasing, rounding that spine and reaching forward. We're going to stack that vertebra, opening that chest, bringing our heels and ankles next to each other. I want you to point those toes, stacking that spine. We're going to roll ourselves down onto the mat. Make sure you are in the center so that when you lean onto the floor, that your head is comfortably on the other end of the mat, rounding yourself all the way down onto a lying position. Well done, everyone. Let's get into our supine position. When I say supine, I mean that neutral, that lower part of your back to be in a neutral lumbar curve, and I want your pelvis to be horizontal to the ground, so your hips and that pubic bone to create that triangle, and that triangle needs to be in a horizontal plane. So you will have a little bit of a gap between your back and the floor. If you do struggle from back pain, please just make sure then that you emphasize that flat back. I'd rather you compromise the activation than compromise your lower back. So work really hard on keeping that activation. We're going to do a few pelvic curls. So let's get that supine neutral, feet a foot and a half away from your glutes and fist width apart from one another. We're going to suck in that pelvic floor. We're going to draw belly to spine, shoulders down that back. And we're slowly going to inhale. And on that exhale, tucking in that pelvis first, tilting that pelvis up towards the ceiling, articulating through that spine, 1 vertebra at a time from the top of your pelvis all the way up to your mid part of your back. And inhale, and on that exhale, performing the movement in reverse. I want you to really work hard on articulating through that spine, so you're just dropping 1 vertebra at a time to come into contact with that floor. Back to neutral. Inhale, exhale, rotate that pelvis, lifting that back part of your pelvis off the floor. We're going to do 2 more of these. I want you to feel that activation, digging your heels into the ground, bringing those knees towards each other and holding. Inhale, and on that exhale, slowly rolling yourself back to the floor. We're going to stay in the air on this last one, so let's get ready. Work hard. We're lifting those hips off the ground, peeling ourselves. You can see the movement of my back and my pelvis as I'm working. Lifting, lifting, lifting. In this position, digging those heels into the ground to isolate and activate those hamstrings, squeezing those glute muscles to make sure that they are working hard and you're maintaining a good hip positioning and tilting that pubic bone towards your chin, bringing your arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we're going to drop arms overhead and back to center. And we're doing 8 of these, but while we're doing this, I want you to really work hard on keeping that hip up. Emphasize, work extra hard to squeeze these glutes to lift that pelvis higher. And we're on 2. And inhale back up to starting point. Exhale down. Inhale back to starting point. Exhale down. Inhale back to starting point. And let's do 3 more. That's 1. Keep holding. You should be getting a beautiful burn into those glutes. That burning is our friend, so let's enjoy it. And back up to the ceiling. Keep your hands exactly where they are. I want you to do 10 little mini pelvic pulses. So it's just a little lift by centimeter up towards the ceiling. So you're really getting that burn into that lower part of your glutes. That's 1, 2, 3. Keep going. 4, 5. Let's push through that burn. 6, 7, 8. Well done, everyone. 9 and 10. And let's inhale. And on that exhale, articulating through that spine, back onto the floor, bringing hands to sides. Let's get that neutral pelvic positioning. We're going to lift our legs into tabletop. Tabletop, 90 degrees in those knees, 90 degrees in those hips. We're going to extend arms up towards the ceiling. Just to start with a little warm up to get those abdominals fired up. We're going to lower right arm and left leg on that exhale. Let's inhale. Exhale, lower, back to center, and alternating with the other limbs back to center. And that's 3. Keep going while you're doing this, making sure to feel that you have an awareness of your body and the movement of those limbs as they lower and lift. I want you to make sure that you're maintaining that neutral pelvic positioning as you're working. Last one, and we're going to do double leg lower with double arm lower. Let's inhale, exhale, double leg lower, and inhale back up. We're doing 6 of these, core tight. And that's 2. Now you can feel that as you're lowering with 2 legs, it's a little bit harder to maintain that core control and that activation. So I want you to work really hard and just take a look at your tummy. If your tummy is bulging out towards the ceiling, you're activating incorrectly. I want you to suck and draw belly to spine as we're working. And let's do 2 more after this one. And 1. And 2. Keeping those legs exactly where they are. We're interlacing our hands behind our head. We're going to inhale. And on that exhale, slowly lifting head, neck, and chest off the ground. And we're going to hold where you are. Please focus on keeping that neutral pelvic positioning, sucking belly to spine. And we're going to slowly do single leg toe tap to start with. Slow and controlled. Exhale, toe tap, inhale up. Exhale, toe tap, inhale up. Keep going. Working really hard. I want you to feel that burn into that core. These are very slow control movements. The slower you go, the more control you have, the deeper the activation. And keeping knees where they are, we're slowly going to inhale, exhale, rotate right rib towards left hip, and exhale, rotate, inhale, center, exhale, rotate, inhale, center. Keep going, sucking in that belly, making sure you're not bracing. Back to center. And let's do 1 more on each side. Keep pushing. And slowly rolling head, neck, and chest back down and hugging knees to chest. And keep holding for a few seconds. Allow that body to recover before we progress. We're going to bring our feet onto the floor, slightly larger than shoulder width apart, arms in a T position. And we're going to rock our knees from side to side. Well done. I hope you're feeling that burn. I hope you're all managing. I wish I could see your faces so I could see how you're managing and see how you're doing it, if you're enjoying it. But let's keep pushing through. We're going to come back into that supine position. We're going to lift our hips back off the ground. Deep inhale. And on that exhale, rolling those hips back up. Articulating through that spine, digging heels into the ground. Bringing arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to lift both our toes of both feet off the ground. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we're going to alternate lowering and tapping our toes onto the mat. So we're starting with just little toe taps onto that mat. And while we're doing that, we are moving our arms into a T position. Let's exhale, arms in T position, inhale up. And we're doing that while we are toe tapping with our toes. And inhale up. And let's do 2 more. And back up, keeping arms where they are. I want you to lift those hips, work really hard to lift higher. We're going to draw our knees away from each other and back to center. And while we're doing that, we are bringing arms overhead. So we're getting mobility into those shoulders while we're maintaining activation into those glutes. And inhale, center. Exhale, pull those knees away from each other. Inhale, back to center. Let's do 5 more. Keep pushing through. That's 1 and 2. Making sure that you're maintaining that hip height as those knees drop. 3 and 4 and 5. Lifting arms back up and down onto the floor. Keeping those hips where they are. We're going to inhale. And on that exhale, lifting right leg into tabletop, pointing those toes. I want you to feel that activation. You've got to work extra hard now that we have one leg off the ground. We're going to inhale, exhale, toe tap, and back up. That's 1 and 2. Inhale up, exhale down, keeping those hips aligned. 3 and 4. Inhale up. We're doing 8 of these. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And extending and aligning those knees for 10. Keep breathing. Push through that burn. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down, dropping that right leg onto the floor. And inhale. Exhale, lifting left leg off the floor. And inhale. Exhale, toe tap. Emphasizing that right glute max activation. That's 2 and 3. Keep going, everyone. 4 and 5. Work hard. 6, 7 and 8. And extending and holding. Keep holding for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg into tabletop, dropping that foot, lifting those hips to slowly articulate back into supine position. We're going to lift our legs up towards the ceiling. I want you to point those toes up and extend. If you do struggle with hamstring flexibility, you can just bend your knees like that. We're going to interlace both hands behind our right knee, lifting head, neck, and chest off the ground. And we're going to inhale. And on that exhale, we're going to lower left leg towards the floor as we pulse right knee towards chest. And we're going to rotate and breathe and rotate. And let's inhale, 2 pulses. Exhale, 2 pulses. You should be feeling a beautiful activation into your abdominals as well as a beautiful flexibility and stretching into those hamstrings. Let's do one more on each side. And bringing those legs back to tabletop. Slowly dropping head, neck, and chest back onto the floor. Arms in a T position. Activating that core. I want you to feel that belly, feel that activation. We're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we're lowering and dropping our knees at a 45-degree angle towards the left. And inhaling back to center. And inhaling towards the right. And exhaling back to center. We're going to do 3 of these on each side, so that's 2. And back to center. Keep pushing. I want you to work hard. That exhale, you're pulling yourself back, using your oblique muscles, these muscles that run down the side of your tummy, to pull those knees back. And slowly back to center. And we've got 1 more on each side after this one. And back to center. And last one. Back to center. Keeping those knees where they are. We're going to bring arms overhead. We're going to slowly inhale, and on that exhale, lifting arms up towards the ceiling and bringing hands down towards the side, and slowly inhale back down, using your core to lift your scaps and shoulders off the ground. I don't want you to use momentum. I don't want you to use your neck muscles. I want you to work really hard on using your tummy muscles, and slowly back. And let's do 2 more before we progress into hundreds. When we progress, we're going to extend those legs, keeping arms on your sides. Draw belly as far and as close towards that spine as you can. And we're just going to pulse and push that air into the ground. And inhale 5 pulses. And exhale 5 pulses. And inhale and exhale. Keep going. And inhale and exhale. Let's do 1 more. And inhale and exhale. And slowly bring knees to chest, hugging, putting head, neck, and back onto the floor. And slowly extending and turning over onto your left hand side. And lying comfortably on that mat, resting our head on our arm. I want this hand either to be in front of you or placed on your side, just to make sure that you are activating. We're going to do lateral bends. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lift those legs up towards the ceiling, and inhale down. And exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. We're doing 6 of these with a 10-second hold. And up. Inhale down. Resting that head nicely. And up. And last one, I'm going to hold for 10 seconds. Up and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Well done. Let's turn over onto the other side to do that same thing. We're going to extend and lower our head onto our arm, pointing those toes. Remember, hand in front of you or on your side. We're going to inhale, exhale, lift those knees and legs off the ground. Inhale down. We're doing 6 of these. I want you to feel that activation here. Work really hard. Try not to use momentum. I want you to use your muscles. Work hard. That's 3. Inhale down. And 4. 2 more with a 10-second hold. And up and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. And turning over onto our backs to stretch out those glutes. We're going to put right ankle on left knee, hugging knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing over for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly extending those legs onto the floor, lifting your arms overhead to roll yourself back up into a seated position. Thanks everyone for completing that Pilates class with me. That was day 3 of our 7-day Pilates challenge. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next video.